Hi guys! I was going to pack everything I painted for the exhibition I did back in March, but I decided to show you guys what I painted or like just talk about it, what I painted for the exhibitions. So here we go! So there is all the 4 paintings I did. This one, I think I'm just going to show a picture here. This one, which is each paintings has different seasons, different time, and different locations. And the first one is the New York ones. I think I'm just gonna picture, but here it is, the paintings I did. And this is morning, winter, and New York. And then the second one is spring and daytime. And the location is in Japan. And then third one is the golden hour, my favorite hours or favorite time in a day. This is summer in LA. And then the last one is nighttime this is Singapore at nighttime, and it's supposed to be fall, but there's no season in Singapore because it's always summer. But Singapore has the Chinese culture. Every fall season they have the moon festival, I believe, and I decided to just capture a little of the moon and the reflection over there. I wanted to, first of all, I decided to stay in Japan for a few months is because I wanted to learn more about Japanese cultures, or like just seeing the Japanese paintings and explore more Japan, because I never got to explore Japan as much as I wanted to. And then I wanted to get inspired from both the American and the Japanese culture. And then when I was in New York, I always see a billboard or just like a monitor, digital monitors on subway screens. I was like, I wanted to do something with that. And then when I was looking at or just thinking about Japanese culture, I was like, oh, there's like screens, Japanese screens, and that is also vertical. Is that vertical? I think it's vertical. The long rectangle, and then they're connected with hinge. I thought that's like similar connection to that, so I wanted to incorporate those both cultures in it, and I decided to use these 4 canvases to and connect all 4 somehow. So that's where my idea started. As I mentioned, I wanted to incorporate Japanese culture, or like I stayed in Japan for a long time to learn about Japanese cultures and the paintings and stuff. So I looked a lot of catalogs of Japanese artworks, and then also just went to many museums to see Japanese artworks. And even before coming back to Japan, I went to Boston, and New York has a lot of good museums. I went there to visit and see like Japanese paintings and stuff. So as I looked or researched the Japanese paintings, I noticed, I would say 3 things that I decided to incorporate into these paintings. First is cloud. And second is deformation. And third is how do I say it? Like a floating looking like not too realistic, like no perspective in a sense. So the first one, clouds, is I noticed it back in, I would say, first or second centuries. Is it first, second, third, or 7th century? I would say actually. Heian, like 10. I would say 7th to 10th century. Well, I was looking through that and I noticed in one panel they used a cloud to show the scenes differences. In one big panel, let's say they capture a like they're playing a bowls, and then they put another clouds to change the scene to show something else. So like I wanted to incorporate those. Then that I decided to put the clouds, but also connect the all 4 panels to show that these are all connected. And then the second one I said is a deformation. I lean towards more of a realistic, but more illustrative, I would say. But I also love realism too. So when I was looking at all the Japanese paintings, there are more so interested in expressing or like capture the moments or the feelings of the scenes or the moments they are paintings, and then which the painting led to be deformed in a way that the paintings become less realistic. And I've been thinking, even before all these paintings, I've been thinking like when I paint like realism, I end up not putting my emotions into the paintings that I wanted to more deform, and that aligned to the deformation I was seeing in many Japanese paintings. So I decided to kind of deform the clouds, of course, and then I guess the scene or the composition of the elements or the canvases, because I never done something like these kind of compositions before, and I really like it. So that was the second one, the formation, the cloud shape, and then the compositions of the paintings. And then lastly, the third one I mentioned is floating effect. I've seen a lot of Western paintings, and I love seeing a lot of like classic one, Impressionism, and everything. And those are all have different styles, but many of them are very grounded, if you know what I mean. Like everything is like more, you see the perspective of it, and you can tell where you're looking at it from, like the height. But then when I'm looking at it, all the Japanese paintings, they didn't like capture like the shadows, or like they put the clouds so you can't tell where the start from, like everything is started from. And so I wanted to capture those 3 elements. First one is the clouds, the second one deformation, and the third the floating look. And that's how I end up getting all these 4 paintings. In terms of the seasons and capturing the day, the time that's my continuous subject. I keep coming back to it. Well, I feel like season is something I always coming back to, because I'm like, I love seasons. Seeing the season, experience it, feel it, and like the wind and the smell of summer, winter, fall, and everything I love about season. So that's something I always wanted to capture. And then the time. So this is something I found out as I was talking to people during the exhibition, is when I was explaining about different ones, which is like the one I did in New York and then brought to show it is this series. There's 4 of them, and maybe I'm just putting a picture probably. So this is very simple one, and this is also the one I captured, time of the day. And the theme for this painting is the connection, and then the life, and then there's always a start or the beginning and the end for everything. And life, stories, I don't know, everything. Like just creating something, you started with something and then end with something. There is always the beginning and that's what I guess what I'm always coming back to it. And also I guess this is, as I am talking about this, I guess this is like a reminder for myself as well. Like showing the beginning and the end is something that I wanted to keep capturing, because that never changes, and there's a beauty in it, the having the start and having the end of everything. So I think this is something I need to keep digging, where all these emotions and why I'm keep coming back to it. But yeah, so that's why I captured these 4 seasons and the time of the day. Oh, and the location is where I lived before. So I like to capture all those like cities I lived, because even though I lived in not very different, I would say. There's more different locations. Like I never been to Africa, but being in different locations and seeing so many people and connected to many people in different locations, it's very nice to know that there's someone in the world, and then I probably can visit them. But also the life were all same, places I visited, it's all same, that you can't measure whose life is better or not. And that's something I wanted to convey, or like put in these paintings. When I paint all these different cities, it's all same, we are all same human. Yeah, so that's that for paintings. Hi, this is future me, and I'm just here to end the video. After explaining the 4 paintings, I continue to talk about other small paintings, and I know I couldn't explain things better, but I will try my best to be better at explaining my works and everything's in general. But this is just my level at the moment, and I hope you like my video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you soon. Bye.